Hello everyone, welcome back to another Calgary Real Estate Market update. So the best half of a year of all times for Greater Calgary real estate is just gone. So what is next? You have heard the headlines about the pullback. Are they right? For which market segment and price points? I have a lot to unpack in this video for you, so let me start right away. But before we get there, please click the subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss any of these great videos. Well, welcome back to another real estate market update. My name is Uros Markovic, so let's dive straight into what is happening today and what it really means for you in the future. Despite the recent pullback being discussed in the headlines everywhere, we have just completed the greatest 6 months of sales in our history. So regardless of where you really sit on doom and gloom or full steam ahead fence, this fact is now in our history books. Homeowners across our province have seen a well-deserved raise in their net worth and household equity, providing a sense of comfort and security we have all long craved for. But there is a truth in the headlines. Sales this June did see a very small decline from the last year numbers, and we did once again see a small decline from May. Those numbers were 2.4% year over year and 7% month over month. What essentially happened is that the Greater Calgary had an early spring market. The perfect storm brewed with ultra-low inventory and increased confidence in our economy, while still sitting the near record low interest rates. This resulted in early than normal high buyer demand. So March, April and May were the peak of our busy 2022 sales season. Generally, that is a period between April and June. And then we would typically start to see a pullback in July and through the balance of the year. And we are just starting to slow down a little bit earlier this year. And yes, the recent raise in interest rates from the Feds has put on brakes for some, or at least adjusted their buying power in the market. But guess what? The life goes on. The demand and dream to own a home always finds a way, regardless of everything thrown at us from our politicians and policymakers. The pullback of June was more focused on the detached and semi-detached markets because they are more expensive housing markets. So if people have to tighten their budgets, they will still move, but they will buy home in a lower price brackets like some of the great row homes or condo products. Both of those market segments saw 35% increase in sales over the last year numbers. Well, looking at this a little bit deeper, here is the graph showing home sales by price range year to date versus the last 3 years. What you will see is the red bar representing this year's sales far outreaches the yellow bar representing the last year's sales. And remember, the last year was our best year ever last year, and it outreaches it for almost everywhere across the board. So despite a small pullback in June, it's proven fact that the Greater Calgarians are okay with spending a little bit more money at all parts of our market. And I believe this reality is here to stay. And one of the reasons for this story is our inventory side. Again, despite the headlines talking about an increase in inventory, it is still absolutely nothing to concern ourselves with. We have the second lowest inventory in the last 15 years as we come out of months of June. Compared to the last year, we have 22% less inventory. That is about 1,500 homes and nearly half of what we had in June 2018. But as we see the sales slowing month by month and inventory climbing a little by little, the sales to new listing ratio is getting a little looser. Right now we are at 70%. Last month it was 72, the month before 75, and it was 80% at the peak. Loser means fewer homes that hit the market would sell right away. So there is a little bit more breathing room for buyers right now, but just a little bit more. This shows up in our months of supply state as well. Oh wait, but you said it's getting looser, getting easier for buyers, but that red arrow is still at the very right near the bottom. Well, yes, that's exactly right. We are losing up a bit from ultra tight March through May, but we remain a very healthy and very fast-paced market with months of supply still sitting near 2 months, which is, just to remind you, as a deep seller's market. And that's right. Here that I want to add the fact that our story is really starting to change property type by property type and district by district. Let's look on the far left on this graph, for example, at the detached section. You will see the city center has 3.6 months of supply, but the southeast has 1.08. That is 233% difference between district for a single property type. And as you look across the whole graph, you will see that this occurs in every product segment. I wanted to share this because when the market undergoes the shift, such as we are seeing right now, it does not happen everywhere at the same way. More than ever, it is important to have a realtor that is very in tune with the dynamics happening in your hyper-local situation. So ask tough questions and make sure they can give you the answers. The strategies are going to be different all across the board. Okay, let's go to the pricing picture. As the sales pullback and sales to new list ratio loosening up, you would also expect some slight easing on prices. And that's exactly what's happened. Prices as a whole adjusted a few thousands of dollars from our May peak. But before you panic, this happened nearly every year. If you go back to 2006-2007, you will see the peak months and then basic flatlining and the small price adjustment heading into the winter. Let's just go back to the last year. That exactly the same thing happened. Last year June had slight drop in a benchmark price comparing to May. It quickly recovered after that though. And then we see new buying season picks up and so do prices. And as has done nearly every year in our history, year-over-year price trends improves. On the right is year-over-year chart showing the price increases across all districts and property types. Really quite remarkable. And below on the left are year-over-year price increases on the Calgary district map. The range of price growth is from 8% in the core and to 19% in the north, northeast and southeast. And then on the right, across the regions of Greater Calgary, you will see as much as 25% growth in Canmore and Airdrie and down to 30% increase in Strathmore. So everywhere is sharing in the good news for pricing picture now. Okay, so you might be thinking now, I get it. We have had a great year so far. But I'm worried about everything that's happening with interest rates and how these increased prices will affect me. I understand your concerns. Look, I'm looking for our family home right now, but let me share a few things to ease your worry. First, let's look at the net migration. Not only is our growing economy good for us locals, but it is also attracting more and more people to our province and great majority of those to our region. You can see this graph. We are nearly triple the net migration numbers we were seeing 4 to 5 years ago. Looking further back on the bottom graph, you will see that we are now much more in line with some of Calgary's heydays like 2012 and 13 and parts of 2014. That is really good news for all of us, our ability to keep property value steady and increasing despite the interest rate changes. More people, more demand, more stability. Secondly, unemployment. Look at the graph on the following page. You will see that unemployment on our area is way down in comparison to 8 to 9 years ago and still continues to improve month by month. Today is July 8th when we are recording this, so I had to check my calendar. And I got an email this morning from ATB saying that the June unemployment even got tighter. Well, lower unemployment means more companies profiting and there are more people working and contributing to our economy. This drives stability in our housing sector too. So yes, we had an amazing and record-breaking first half of 2022, but considering everything I've shared, we are very well set to maintain the gains we have achieved in our housing price growth. So if you have to make the move, be confident. If you're looking out to make your very first move, also be confident. And if you're not ready for the purchase yet, know that our overall economy is in a very good place. And the sooner you get there, the sooner you will be able to start benefiting. And that's all for this month. If you require any market information relating to your specific situation, please don't hesitate to connect with me. Have a great day.